Hare Krishna, thank you for joining. Let's make a start. We'll be doing verse 4 and 5, chapter 3. And let's start with Radha Madhav. Jai Radha Madhava Kunj Bihari, Jai Radha Madhava Kunj Bihari, Gopijana Vallabha Girvardhari, Gopijana Vallabha Girvardhari, Yashodanandan Vraj Jana Ranjan, Yashodanandan Vraj Jana Ranjan, Yamuna Tiravanachari, Jai Radha Madhava, Jaya Kunj Bihari, Jai Radha Madhava, Jaya Kunj Bihari. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Om Agyantimridnasya Gyanajana Shalakya Chukshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Samrupa Akadamayam Dadati Swapatantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Uttapada Kamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavcha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sakana Raghunathamitam Tam Sajyam Sadvetam Savadhutam Prajna Setam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sagana Lalita Shiva Shakhanvitamscha. Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kant Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchan Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Rishabhanu Sutadevi Pranmami Haripriye Vancha Kalpata Brihascha Kirpa Sindhuve Vacha Paditana Pavanebhyo Vaishnavyo Namo Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasdi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Mukham Kroti Vachalam Bhangum Langyate Grivyat Kirpata Mandashi Gurundin Dharanam Paramananda Madhum Shitanaishram. Hari Om Tassat Naram Namaskritya Naram Cheva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jamaduriyat Nasta Prashabdresha Nityam Bhagavad-Sevayā Bhagavati Uttam Shloke Bhakti Bhakti Nestikhi. Hare Krishna. So here we are. Stop sharing this and on to verse 4. Okay. Pasyanti adorupam adbara chukshasha sahasra padoru pujananda bhutam sahasra murda sharvanakshi nasikam sahasra moli ambar kundalo lasat. So Pashyanti, see, Adha, the form of the Purush, Rupam, form, Adabra, perfect, Chakshusha, by the eyes, Sahasra, Pad, thousands of legs, Uru, thighs, Bhuja, Anan, hands and faces, Adbhutam, wonderful, Sahasra, thousands of Murda, heads, Shravan, ears, Akshi, eyes, Nasikam, noses, Sahasra, thousands, Moli, garlands, Ambar, dresses, kundala, earrings, ulasat, all glowing. So pashanti yadarupa madbara chukshusha sahasra padaru bhujananda bhutam sahasra murda sharvanashki nasikam sahasra moliambar kundalulasat. So the devotees with the perfect eyes see the transcendental form of the Purusha who has thousands of legs, thighs, arms and faces, all extraordinary. In that body there are thousands of heads, ears, eyes and noses. They are decorated with thousands of helmets and glowing earrings and are adorned with garlands. So just before we go on to that, just want to discuss what we were talking about last time. So we're talking about the three Purushas, how they help in the creation. Mahavishnu, Garbhodaksha Vishnu and Kshirodaksha Vishnu, how they help in the creation. And then you get Lord Brahma, who manifests from the navel of Garbhodaksha Vishnu, and he's the engineer, the secondary creator, and he has his other team of engineers or people who help him to create. So like that. Now the point is that every day of Brahma goes to sleep, and then there's partial inhalation, and then when Brahma wakes up in the morning, he says, oh dear, what's happened here? Everything's destroyed. So he has to recreate again every morning. That's his job. All day long he's just creating every morning. And when Brahma dies after his 100 years alive, then there's full inhalation, everything's destroyed. It all goes back into Mahavishnu and Mahatattva. And then whenever Krishna decides he's going to recreate this material world or material manifestation, then everything has to restart again, and we'll get a new Brahma, new set of engineers, everything, new team. And but the point is, why does Krishna do this? Why every day of Brahma everything's destroyed, and end of his life total destroying? Why does he need to do that? Why he goes into a lot of trouble to create the material world, and then he has to keep destroying it and rebuilding it, destroying it, rebuilding. Why does he do that? Can anybody answer that question? Why does he have to keep rebuilding, rebuilding? Okay, so the point is, Srila Prabhupada explains that it's the time factor. The time is activated when the material world is created. Now, time in the spiritual world is a devotee of Krishna. So time doesn't do anything as such, it doesn't destroy anything, and there's no conception of time because it doesn't behave in that way. So there's no conception of time in the spiritual world. So it does not do anything. But in Bhagavad-Gita, Krishna says, time I am, and destroyer, I'm the destroyer. So because time is activated in the material world, time destroys everything, right? And we see that in our little world, how time has changed. The people we knew once, the life we had once, it's all changed. And many people have gone, many new people have come with time. And this circle of time is going and going. That's life, and we have to bear it. Time devours everything. Time devours everything. Even the material creation is devoured. But the good news is that time also brings new things as well. If it takes away our elders, then it brings in the new generations also pop up into the creation. And same with the world. Once the world is destroyed, then it's made fresh again. So this time factor, it just keeps destroying, and then it's rebuilt, destroying, rebuilt, and that's just the way That's the design of the material world. Whereas in the spiritual world, there is no such conception, no such requirement to keep destroying and building, because time doesn't have any effect in the spiritual world. That's the reason. So it's quite interesting. It's like, why does Krishna need to keep doing this again and again? So that's the reason. So anyway, so translation was the devotee. Now we're just talking about this verse 4. The devotees with the perfect eye see the transcendental form of Purusha, who has thousands of legs, thighs, arms, and faces, all extraordinary. In that body, there are thousands of heads, ears, eyes, and noses. They are decorated with thousands of helmets and glowing earrings and are adorned with garlands. With our present materialized senses, we cannot perceive anything of the transcendental Lord. Our present senses are to be rectified by the process of devotional service, purification. Then the Lord himself becomes revealed to us. In the Bhagavad-Gita, it is confirmed that the transcendental Lord can be perceived only by pure devotional service. So it is confirmed in the Vedas that the only devotional service can lead one to the side of the Lord, and that only devotional service can reveal him. Just want to read that again. So it is confirmed in the Vedas that only devotional service can lead one to the side of the Lord, and that only devotional service can reveal him. In the Brahma, so what's that verse? I'll just remember it in a minute. In the Brahma Samhita, it is said that the Lord is visible to the devotees whose eyes have been anointed with the tinge of devotional service. So we have to take information of the transcendental form of the Lord from persons who have actually seen him with perfect eyes smeared with devotional service. So Bhaktya Mam Abhijanati, that's the verse. So only by devotional service you can know Krishna. In the material world also, we do not always see things with our own eyes. We sometimes see through the experience of those who have actually seen or done things. If that is the process of experiencing a mundane object, it is more perfectly applicable in matters, transcendental matters. Because like not everything we can experience, right? Or we have seen with eyes. We have to, people tell us, and it's like this, like that, and we believe what they're saying. That's how we learn, right? Our parents tell us, our teachers tell us at school, our friends tell us things, and we learn from them. Not everything we have to experience, and sometimes they say that, well, not sometimes, but it's the fact that the first class student is the one who can learn by hearing, not necessarily by seeing or then experiencing, right? First class is one who can understand things just by hearing. So we sometimes see through the experience of those who have actually seen or done things. If that is the process of experience, a mundane object is more perfectly applicable in matters transcendental. So only with patience and perseverance can we realize the transcendental subject matter regarding the absolute truth and his transcendental forms. He is formless to the neophytes, but he is transcendental form to the expert servitor. But he is in transcendental form to the expert servitor. So he's got so many forms, and he remains hidden, invisible, impersonal, until we are ready to see him, and we have anointed our eyes with the with this devotional service, anointed with the tinge of devotional service. Then we can see him, not otherwise. So if somebody says, oh, why can't I see the Lord? Well, are you ready? Have you done anything about it? Have you prepared yourself? If you want to see, say, a president or a king, you can't just walk in and say, I like to see the king, I like to see the president. You have to be on that level that they want to see you. and you have to obviously go through the process of seeing, get in touch with their secretary, whatever, introducing yourself, and then they see that are you the right person that who should be shown, would Krishna or the king or the president should give them his time to them. So there has to be preparation for that. So if you want to see Krishna, then you have to be prepared for it. You have to go through the process. And Srila Prabhupada explains that our present senses are to be rectified by devotional services. I've said Bhaktamam Abhijanati. We need to become attracted to devotional service. So Krishna, because that is the only way. If you want to see Krishna, that is the only way. Krishna reveals himself to the degree that we please him through our devotional service and practices. So whatever level we are on, that's how much Krishna will reveal himself. We need patience and perseverance because we rely on Krishna to reveal himself when he's ready or when he wants. Until then, we see Krishna form through the parampara. So we just hear from the parampara, and they tell us what Krishna is all about, what he looks like in the Brahma Samhita. Brahmaji seen the Lord, and in the Brahma Samhita he says, Govindam Adipurusham Tamavajami Venam Kwantam Aravinda Dalayataksha. So he's explaining Krishna, his beautiful form, his original Godhead with the flute, and it explains his body and how his body can do different things. His body can, every part of his body can perform all the tasks like that. So we hear and we see Krishna, we imagine Krishna through the parampara like that. And then the Goswamis have explained to us. So anybody who has met Krishna explains, and until we see them face to face with our own eyes. Until then, we see him with our ears. That's the way. So when the people are ready, I was saying last time that Virat Roop is seen as the Lord's appearance in his body, the Virat Roop. So let's go on to the next verse, text 5. Eta nanavatranam nidanam bijam avayam yasyam sham shena sarjante deva triyan naradayaha. Etat, this, or form, nana, multifarious, of taranam, of the incarnations, nidanam, source, bijam, seed, avyam, indestructible, yasya, whose, amsha, plenary portion, amshena, part of the plenary portion, sarjyante, create, deva, demigods, tiryak, animals, nara, adya, is human beings and others. So eta nanav taranam nidanam bijam avayam yasyam shamshena sarjyante deva triyan naradaya. So this form, the second manifestation of the Purusha, is the source and indestructible seed of multifarious incarnations within the universe. From the particles and portions of this form, different living entities like demigods, men, and others are created. So let's see Srila Prabhupada's purport, what Prabhupada is saying about this translation. The Purusha, after creating innumerable universes in the Mahat Tattva, entered in each of them as a second Purusha. So second Purusha is Garbhodaksha Vishnu, first Purusha is Karanodaksha Vishnu. When he saw that within the universe there was only darkness and space without a resting place. So Garbhodaksha Vishnu enters the universe as the soul of the universe, but he says there is no, it's just a shell, empty shell. That's, as we discussed last time, it starts like a golf ball, ends up like a big, massive 4 billion miles across universe. That's just our universe, smallest. And their universe is much, much bigger than ours. He filled half the universe with water from his own perspiration and laid himself down on the same water. This water is called Garbhodaka. Then from his navel the stem of the lotus flower sprouted, and on the flower petals the birth of Brahma, or the master engineer of the universal plan, took place. Brahma became the engineer of the universe, and the Lord himself took charge of the maintenance of the universe as Vishnu. Brahma was generated from Rajagun of Prakriti, or the mode of passion in nature. And Vishnu became the Lord of the mode of goodness. Vishnu, being transcendental to all the modes, he is always aloof from materialistic affection. So Vishnu has nothing to do with material energy. He's just looking after things in the mode of goodness. This has already been explained. From Brahma there is Rudra, Shiva, who is in charge of the mode of ignorance or darkness. So Brahmaji manifested, Rudra manifests from his forehead. He destroys the whole creation by the will of the Lord. Therefore, all three, namely Brahma, Vishnu and Shiva, are incarnations of the Garbhodakshaya Vishnu. So these three are known as the Guna avatars because they look after the three gunas, or they work within the three gunas. From Brahma, the other demigods, Daksha, Marichi, Manu, and many others become incarnated to generate living entities within the universe. So they are like his sons. This Garbhodakshaya Vishnu is glorified in the Vedas in the hymns of Garbhastuti, which begins with the description of the Lord as having thousands of heads, etc. The Garbhodakshaya Vishnu is the Lord of the universe. So this is what the translation is saying, the second Purusha with thousands of heads, etc. And although he appears to be lying within the universe, he is always transcendental. This also has already been explained. The Vishnu, who is the plenary portion of the Garbhodakshaya Vishnu, is the super soul of the universal life. So Garbhodakshaya Vishnu is a plenary portion of the Mahavishnu, Garbhodakshaya Vishnu, and then Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam Vishnu, the super soul, is the plenary portion of Garbhodakshaya Vishnu, and is known as the maintainer of the universe, or Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam Vishnu. So the three features of the original Purusha are thus understood, and all the incarnations within the universe are emanations from this Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam Vishnu. So, as we were discussing, that we don't need to exactly understand in every detail, because I tell you, this is the easy part. It gets a lot more complicated than this. We really don't need to understand it all. Even a high level, you don't need to understand it, and not many people do. We just need to appreciate it. By hearing it, we need to appreciate it. What the mechanics are, what the process is. That's the main thing. That's why we've been told this. Even Maharaj Parikshit, he had 7 days to live, and he wasn't trying to understand every detail. He just wanted to appreciate Krishna. He wanted to appreciate him. So when you get to Canto 10, he could really cherish that canto, because by then he would have heard so much about Krishna and his creation and his glories, that then he can really appreciate him, right? So you're not going to understand everything, you're not going to remember everything. We need to know the essence of it, and we need to appreciate Krishna's glories. This Bhagavatam is about glorifying Krishna. So in different millennia, there are different incarnations, and they are innumerable, although some of them are very prominent, such as Matsya, Kurma, Varaha, Ram, Narasimha, Vaman, and many others. So we'll discuss about 22 of them, although there's unlimited incarnations. These incarnations are called Leela incarnations. So Matsya, Kurma, Varaha, they come for pastimes, they do Leela. Then there are qualitative incarnations such as Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva, or Rudra, who take charge of different modes of material nature. So, Guna avatars, Lila avatars, Guna avatars. Lord Vishnu is not different from the personality of Godhead. Lord Shiva is in the marginal position between the personality of Godhead and the living entities. So Lord Shiva is not a living entity like us, but he's also not in the position of, he's not a Vishnu Tattva and he's not a Jiva Tattva. So Brahma is always a Jiva Tattva, the highest pious living being or the greatest devotee of the Lord. So Brahma is a Jiva, Shiva is in between, and then you have the Lord. He is empowered with the potency of the Lord for creation. So he's an empowered Jiva, and he's called Brahma. His power, so Brahma is a position. His power is like the power of the sun, reflected in valuable stones and jewels. When there is no such living being to take charge of the post of Brahma, the Lord himself becomes a Brahma and takes charge of the post. So the Lord can do everything. He can be Indra, Brahma, Shiva. He doesn't really need anyone, but he likes to give people service. That's it. Lord Shiva is not an ordinary living being. He is the plenary portion of the Lord. But because Lord Shiva is in direct touch with material nature, he is not exactly in the same transposition as Lord Vishnu. So as we're saying that Lord Vishnu doesn't come in contact with material nature. Well, when he does come, say for example, he did come in touch with material nature, then he's known as Shiva. So you could go that way. That is known as Shiva because he's in touch with the material nature. Because end of the day, everything emanates from the Lord himself. He's expanding. So when he's in touch with material nature, he is now known as Shiva. The difference is like that between milk and curd. Curd is nothing but milk, but yet it cannot be used in place of milk. Right? So the milk now becomes curd, and that's Lord Shiva. The next incarnations are the Manus. Within 1 day's duration of the life of Brahma, which is calculated by a solar year as 4.3 million times 1,000 years, there are 40 Manus. Therefore, there are 420 Manus in 1 month of Brahma and 5,040 Manus in 1 year of Brahma. Brahma lives for 100 years of his age, and therefore there are 5,040 times 100, 500 and 4,000 Manus in the duration of Brahma's life. So there's quite a few. So this shows how intricate it gets, how much Krishna does for this material creation alone. He's got a much bigger creation in the spiritual world, but he does put so much effort in the material world. There are innumerable universes with one Brahma in each of them. So this post of Brahma, post of Indra, post of Shiva, in every universe that post is there. Well, I guess Shiva is probably not a post, but Shiva, it would expand into every universe as well. So there are innumerable universes with one Brahma in each of them, and all of them are created and annihilated during the breathing time of the Purusha. So as the Purusha, as Mahavishnu breathes out, the universes are created and they expanded, and when he breathes in, everything is taken back into his body. Therefore, one can simply imagine how many millions of Manus there are during one breath of Purusha, because they're obviously, we're talking obviously other universes as well. The Manus who are prominent within this universe are as follows: Yajna as Swambhuva Manu, Vibhu as Sarvo Sisha Manu, Satyasena as Uttam Manu, Hari as Tamas Manu, Vaikunta as Revata Manu, Ajita as Chakshusha Manu, Vaman as Vyavasat Manu. That is the present age under the Vyavasat Manu. This is where we are now, sort of halfway through. Sarva Bhoma as Sovereignty Manu. So it's like lunchtime in Brahma's planet. So we are halfway through his day. Rishabha as Daksh Sovereignty Manu. Vishwaksena as Brahma Sovereignty Manu. Dharma Setu as Dharma Sovereignty Manu. Sudhama as Rudra Sovereignty Manu. Yugeshwara as Deva Sovereignty Manu. And Bridbanu as Indra Sovereignty Manu. These are the names of the one set of 14 Manus covering 4.3 billion solar years as described above. And that's one day of Brahma. 14 Manus in one day of Brahma. We are halfway through. So where's the Manu? And so the next one will be Sarvabhoma as Sovereignty Manu. And then Rishabha and Daksha and Vishwaksena and Brahma Sovereignty Manu, like that. So we are sort of halfway through the Manus in this day of Brahma that we are in. So, like I said, you don't need to understand everything, but if you do want to understand, I mean, there's plenty of information. You can go in Iskcon Desire Tree, like that. Always, when you're searching for information, always put Iskcon at the end, because there is so much different, you get some information that is like really, I don't know where they get that information from, but somebody reading it, you will believe it, like that. Just yesterday I was looking for something and it just came up like, about the Bhagavad-Gita, that, the Pandavas are, I think maybe the 5 senses, and the 100 Kauravas are of anarthas. People just make up these things and put, I don't know where they, which shastras they're reading, and so always put Iskcon before you read anything, otherwise you just read the wrong information. So then there are the Yuga Avtaras, or the incarnation of the millennia. The Yugas are known as Satya Yuga, Treta Yuga, Dwapar Yuga, and Kali Yuga. So different avatars coming in each of the yugas, as we're quite familiar with that. The incarnation of each yuga are of different colors. The colors are white, red, black, and yellow. In the Dwapar Yuga, Lord Krishna is black colored, appeared in the Kali Yuga, and Lord Chaitanya yellow color. In the Dwapar Yuga, Lord Krishna is black color, and in the Kali Yuga, Lord Chaitanya in yellow color. So like that. So white is Hansa avatar, and I think Kapila Muni is also mentioned, and also Yagya is the red. It comes as Yagya in the Treta Yuga. So all the incarnations of the Lord are mentioned in the revealed scriptures. There is no scope for an impostor to become an incarnation. So if there's going to be incarnation of Yuga Avatar is coming, it's revealed in the scriptures. So already mentioned that this avatar will be, even Kalki is mentioned. And incarnation does not declare himself to be an incarnation of the Lord. But great sages agree by the symptoms mentioned in the revealed scriptures. The feature of the incarnation and the particular type of mission which he has to execute are mentioned in the revealed scriptures. So the information is already there. All the signs are there, what you're looking for. So no, anybody can just say, oh, I am Lord, I am incarnation. Apart from the direct incarnations, there are innumerable empowered incarnations, Shakti Avaishavatars. They are also mentioned in the revealed scriptures. Such an incarnation are directly as well as indirectly empowered. When they are directly empowered, they are called incarnations. When they are indirectly empowered, they are called vibhutis. Directly empowered incarnations are the Kumaras, Narad, Prithu, Shesha, Ananta, etc. As far as the vibhutis are concerned, they are very explicitly described in the Bhagavad-Gita in the Vibhuti Yoga chapter. And for all these different types of incarnations, the fountainhead is the Garbhodakshai Vishnu. So the incarnations are coming from there. Nice. Okay, let's see. Can add something to that. So think we've done that. So Brahma is a Jiva Tattva, as we mentioned. He has the greatest piety, so becomes Brahma. So whoever has the greatest piety at the time becomes Brahma. It's mentioned here. Whoever has the most piety can shoot up the stem and born out of the lotus. Another way of saying is Brahma. If that is not the case, then the Lord himself becomes Brahma. Every one of us, when we fall from the spiritual world, our first post is of Brahma with 78% purification. So that's mentioned. So if that is the case, then it's possible that most of us, all of us, have been Brahma at one time or other. So it says, every one of us, when we fall from the spiritual world, our first post is of Brahma with 78% purification. This post is the mode of passion. So in this mode, we are likely to get puffed up about our abilities to create material universe. That's the nature of the mode of passion. Even like Indra, he gets a little bit puffed up as well at times. We would then fall to become demigods, and once we have exhausted that, we will drop as rain, become grain, and take birth. So it's the modes, I think, to blame. Once we fall from the spiritual world, we are in the hands of the modes. They dictate to us, which way we're going. But the Shastras are there to guide us that beware of the modes. There should be a signpost, beware of the modes, and shield yourself from the modes. So Brahma, then demigods, and then we become to the earthly planets like that. Okay, so let's leave it there. It's very interesting, and I'd like to hear your thoughts. Hare Krishna. Let's see who we have. Okay, thank you all for joining. Pundikaksh Prabhu, Hari Hari Bol. Mind-boggling.
Yeah. After reading this, sometimes we will not be able to sleep as well. Thinking about how this has been created and maintained, and destructed and maintained again in cycle fashion. Very nice, Prabhuji. So, this is the answer to one of the questions asked by the sages, and they asked question after they asked like why Krishna born to the son of Mother Devaki. They asked the question on tell about the incarnations of the Lord, and when this started with the first incarnation or expansion, like Purusha Avatar. So you already mentioned about this in the previous session, how Garbhodaksha Vishnu create that water and then sleep. He can sleep, it is will, he can sleep anywhere. So he has that super will as free will. So from the Garbhodaksha Vishnu, we get Lord Brahma, and Lord Brahma is engaged in creation. And it's amazing that every day his duty is to start his day with the creation. And and in the first text we read like with our senses we cannot see the Lord, and Lord has to reveal himself. So I was just thinking like Bhishma, Dronacharya, they could see the Lord when the Lord came as a peacemaker between Kauravas and Pandavas, but Duryodhan could not see him, and he tried to actually put him in jail as well. So Bhishma and Drona, they are devotees. That's why they are able to see, and they are playing a part of their role in the plan of Sri Krishna. As you know, like Bhishma, they are definitely playing his role. And Sanjay could see the Krishna because Sanjay has been gifted that a vision by the Sri Krishna himself. So if you want to see Krishna, then it's only Krishna who can actually reveal himself. We cannot see him by our senses because our senses are very imperfect. And for now, we can only see through the eyes of the spiritual master or the eyes of the devotees who have seen the truth. So, Tadviti Pranipatena Pariprashna Sevaya, Upadekshati Dhyana, Dhyana Tattva Darsina. Because they have seen the truth, only through their eyes we can see now, for now, until unless our senses get perfect. Don't know how many yugas it will take. So It's amazing again that in one day of Brahma we have got 14 Manus, and each Manu's life cycle is 70 Chatur Yuga, 70 full cycles. So you can imagine how long the Brahma has to live. We are fortunate to have only 100 years at least. In 100 years, we can do something and then we get a chance to take birth again. Uh, uh, and patience is required here because it's not a knowledge which can be understood by doing experimental, like as we understand. We cannot know this knowledge by doing an experimental way. We have to wait with patience, then everything will be revealed by the Lord. And dedication should be there in the devotional service. Sincerity should be there, and daily chanting the holy name. Have that faith in the Lord, and then slowly, when once you follow the 9 devotional process, Adho Shraddha, Sadhu Sangha, Bhajana Kriya, Anadinamurti, Nishtha, Ruchi, Asakti, Bhava, Prema, then one day Krishna will reveal himself. We need not try. The Prabhupada said, like while doing the chanting, you just focus on the Naam, the sound of the Naam, and don't try to see the Lord by yourself because you can't see him by your vision. Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Thank you so much, Prabhu. Yes, wonderful. I want to hear from Nita Mataji because I know sometimes she has to go off to work early. Mataji, would you like to say anything? Nita Mataji? Okay. So, Dr. Deepak, please.
Hare Krishna, Babu. Very useful verses, again, I would say. And in the fourth verse, of course, it says that we need to be qualified. Krishna is there. I was just thinking on the lines of, when within the army, they get some special goggles, not goggles, I would say, special equipment that they can see in the dark. So obviously, when they go to the front line, so the enemy is already there. It is existing, but because it is dark, they were not able to see that enemy. And once they put on that equipment, they are able to see the enemy or moving objects. So what that is, so they have kind of, you for getting into the army, obviously you pass your exam, you go through the physical training, and you do all those procedures which are required. And once you reach that stage that you can qualify to have that equipment that you can see through the dark. It is not that if I want to say that, okay, I want to see in the dark and I go into the army camp and say, can you give me that equipment? They're not going to give it to me. So that's something which is materialistic. So for within this material world, to have that kind of equipment to see in the dark, you have to go through all that process. And it is the same process as Prabhupada says, that Krishna is already there. For you to see him, obviously you have to go through that process of, you have to go through the sadhana, you should be chanting your round, you should be following the 4 regulatory principles, you should take the Acharya of Diksha Guru and a Siksha Guru, and then once you become qualified, then eventually you'll be able to see Krishna, and from a third class devotee you can become a first class devotee. With regards to the verse on the different Vishnus, I'm pretty sure you all are aware of there's a very famous TV serial in UK known as Grey's Anatomy. So Grey's Anatomy is basically a book within the medical science that we read in the first year, which is the anatomy of the human being. And if I can tell you, it is the thickest or the biggest book that I have read read in my life. It's so complicated, and it's I see this chapter is basically anatomy of the incarnations of Krishna, just to show how magnificent he is. Obviously, so he is there in his Goloka. Then there is a Mahatattva or a Mahavishnu, and from Mahavishnu, then there is the Garbhodakshai Vishnu, and from Garbhodakshai there is Kshirodakshai Vishnu, and Kshirodakshai Vishnu obviously is the one which is limited to our universe only. So it is complex, but then anatomy has to be complex. And like we say, within the human body also, if we take out all the nerves and the vessels and every part of the human body, we'll be able to go around the globe 4 times. Just imagine, that is how complex a human body is. And who can create such a complex human body? Only Krishna can do it, because he's an engineer par excellence. And as I was mentioning last time, that scientists have been trying to create even the stem cell therapy you might have heard of in the news that they are doing something to treat diabetes and everything. But no, there has been no success to date. And I was listening to one of the Prabhupada's lectures, and he says that only Krishna can create it. Can you create it? So you put a pen there, and you put another pen there. Can there be 3 pens in some time, or can there be 4 pens? Can that they do? So he is par excellence. And as you rightly said, that we just need to understand this concept and have a clear thinking that okay, this is what it is. Not necessarily if we can, yes, definitely that is very good. But if we can't, we just need to understand and have that clarity of concept in our mind, and not necessarily remember all these names of manus and everything, which you eventually will. I think that as we are going along. So very nicely explained, Prabhuji, and thank you very much. And it's Bhagavatam is Krishna consciousness is like I always say in a laughing manner. The Krishna consciousness is like a drug. And Prabhupada also used to say, so hippies were druggists, and he gave them a higher taste of Krishna consciousness, and they left the drugs and everything within. And I was reading that the governor of New York, he came to Prabhupada and he said that, oh, we have been trying to mold these people for many, many years. What have you done to them? And they have just changed within months because he gave them a higher taste. And Bhagavatam is also like that only. In these classes, 8 to 9 is a very, very difficult time. I'm doing the school run, and everybody's going to work and everything. But it is so, I would say, intoxicating. I don't know if that's not the right word, but it is so addictive. I would say addictive is the right word, that you have to go through. It's just like that. You are removing layers of misguided things in your mind, one after the other, one after the another, one after the other. So thank you very much, Prabhuji. Dandavat pranam. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, even in Hindi they say, "Ye nasha." They mention they speak about it as nasha of spirituality. So yeah, but it's the right type of nasha. If you want nasha, then this is the nasha we want. So this material world is perverted. We're taking the wrong type of nasha. Nasha, the sarur should be coming from spirituality, not from man-made things, right? So thank you so much for. Okay, Hina Mataji, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. This is a continuation of the class that we had on Monday, and I think Prabhuji already made some nice points about how devotional service is the only way that allows us to understand the Lord, and how he discloses himself to those who take an interest in him, and then he gives special favor to them. The bits of creation, obviously, the details of creation are further expanded on here as well, and it just makes you realize and appreciate how highly organized Krishna has created this material universe, this material creation. Particularly, like, I know we touched on the day in the life of Brahma, and I think, I love rereading and kind of trying to get my head around these numbers each time I come across them. But for me, it just makes me realize remember how insignificant my human life is from a time perspective. It's minuscule in terms of the time I've actually got in comparison to a life or the day of Brahma, for example. So it just makes you realize and appreciate that, that we need to I keep telling myself to keep focused on this path as much as possible, because time is limited, and our lives are limited. And that was it for today. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mata. Yeah, you picked on how much everything is a system. So these are things we don't appreciate, we don't look at. We are mostly gross in our own little lives, but how much there is a creator. It proves so many times there is a creator, because everything's systematic, things done properly. There's a process to this, and only our philosophy can reveal all this. There are other philosophies, but it don't make as much sense as this one. Thank you so much, Mataji. Parveen Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Dandavat pranam. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. We don't appreciate. We just so engrossed in our little lives, and we don't really understand. So I think it just comes a time when you think, what is all this? So I started questioning myself, what is life? And then I think Krishna has shows his mercy and puts you with the right people, with the devotees. And reading these two verses, I think again it comes to faith as well. So if we have faith in the Lord, we don't really need to question anything, but understanding all this knowledge is very, very good. How Prabhupada has explained so nicely the positions of Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva. And I think we don't need to have a desire to see the Lord. We have to be engaged in the service. So the Lord wants to see us. So we shouldn't really worry, I want to see the Lord. And very powerful thing, like you said about the modes as well, Prabhuji. We have to be aware of the modes. So we don't want to fall into the mode of passion and ignorance. Have to stay in the mode of goodness, and that can only happen if we engage in devotional service and forget about other things, because Krishna will take care of every other thing. And again, then think of Bhagwan is one with all the 6 opulences. I was trying to tell my grandson Krish, so Krishna is all powerful, all beauty, all fame, all strength. And so, yeah, it is so beautiful that Krishna, he has created everything, which is like, I always used to ask my Prabhu, because I'm not very technical, so what is beyond this? What is this? What is that? And now it's all been unfolded to us. So thank you so much, Prabhuji.
Thank you.
Yeah, and the 2 words, patience and perseverance, they're very, very important. So we just have to be patient, have faith in instructions from the Guru, and just carry on, keep persevering. Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Mata. Yeah,
And have a very blissful yatra as well.
Thank you, Mata.
Thank you.
This sadhana is for life. It has to be continued. We have to keep purifying, because beware of the modes. They're always there, ready. So we have to keep purifying ourselves all the time. And right. So Suresh.
Yeah. Yeah, I just wanted to add, it is a steep thing. It's not like straight road. So Krishna consciousness. So like you said, there is so much information. So because I was trying to get my head around this, and then I looked further, then I said, oh my God, this is so much. Then just leave it to Krishna, you just engage in the service and just do simple things.
Yeah. Work on the anarthas. Once you get past anartha nivriti, then you're on top of the hill. Then it's downhill from there. The hard part is anartha nivriti, getting rid of all the unwanted desires that we have, unwanted attachments that we have, which become obstacle to our bhakti. We have to work on them. Once we get past that, then once you get to nishtha, like we discussing before, 75% already there, and then it's just downhill from there. Our nishtha, ruchi, asakti, bhava, prema, it's downhill if you keep to the process. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Thank you.
Suresh Prabhu, Hari Hari Bol. Okay. Go to Ajay Prabhu.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Yeah, so these verses shows how Lord has created the system so intrinsically that everything is set up before, present, and after. Yet we still remain in a very perilous position. As you mentioned, that Lord Brahma, the poet, potentially we all have the chance to be a Lord Brahma. Yet, even though this is known as the highest pulse within this material universe, you still fall down from it. You still lose your way. So we have to really take advantage of whatever mercy we have in this life, because it is very easy to lose focus. If someone like at the position of Lord Brahma, you can lose focus, then and how easy it is for us to lose focus is understandable. yet also mentioned in the last verse was that for this particular yuga, we have the Yuga avatar is Lord Chaitanya. We are very fortunate in that sense because Lord Chaitanya only comes for this particular run in the cycle. Unlike other Yuga avatar, unlike other yugas, they have Kali yugas, they rely on a Shakti avatar to guide them towards the holy name. We have the Lord Chaitanya to guide us. We really need to take advantage of that because he is the most merciful. We take his guidance and it becomes a lot easier. If without him, the process is a lot harder. As it needs to be applied certain to Krishna, that process is difficult, but Lord Chaitanya just gives the mercy out freely. So we just need to take advantage of what we've been given, this great opportunity, because if we don't, then next time around, we might not have the same opportunity. So yeah, so just keep to the process and Krishna, Prabhupada will guide you pretty much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much. Yeah, we need another board sign. Be prepared for birth, life, death, old age, and disease. So get out of here. Thank you so much. Radharani?
Hare Krishna, everyone. I was just thinking that, we always hear from our Shiksha Gurus that in various classes, and also we read in Prabhupada's purports as well, that we hear what we want to hear and we see what we want to see. So, that is so true about this world, which is made with the three modes of material nature. So three modes are there. Three modes are there acting on us. They are within us. We have got a prominent mode. And, the body which we have been given is so perfect, is the only perfect instrument, after the Lord, we can say, that which is capable of doing everything. It can be in a tamasic way, it can be in sattvic way, it can be in a rajagun way. So we have been given everything, we have been endowed with all the requisites for the bhakti. Now it's up to us if we want to use it for bhakti, if we just want to just go through life saying like this, it's like a dream, and be dreamy in our lives and just be lost in a fictionalized manner through the life, just go through the life like that. It's up to us. Bhakti is there, Lord is there. Even if you are an atheist, you do marvel how the sun comes at the same time, how the sun sets at the same time, and how the seasons are regulated, how the nature is working around the sun and everything, and somebody is controlling this. So everything is at our disposal. It's up to us. Krishna tells us again and again through Srila Prabhupada's purports to us, because we can't understand the translations perfectly from Bhagavatam or any other Shastras, is through the purports of Acharyas like Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada has done all the hard work for us, and we just have to understand the subtle message of each shloka, and that's it. Our bhakti will kick in, and if we keep revising and going through what we are studying, what we are trying to learn, not studying, what we are trying to enjoy and learn and relish the holy name, I think one day we will make it back. And we never know, we might make it after this life or next life, because we don't know how Krishna is looking at our effort. So there's hope for all of us. And just to know that we all have been Brahma explains why we have all these, egos in us. Because I think we have done so many things in our past lives. So that's why we have been given such, we are the owners of such big egos, I think. Because somewhere there is a blueprint in us that, oh, I can do this. Or when we look at somebody else, oh, I can do better than this. So this is what I was thinking in my head. Thank you.
Thank you so
all
much.
for your realizations.
Hari Hari Bol. Olga Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam ki jai. Gaur Premanande. Hari Hari Bol. Thank you so much.
19th.
And we'll catch up with you also. Hari Krishna. I'll put in the group.
Hare Krishna.